What do you make of these photos? Do you find them disturbing or groundbreaking? This one is from Sweden, where preschools are required to have 1 to 5-year-olds use digital devices or potentially face a fine. Sweden has had a reputation for pioneering digital innovations for a long time, but has recently seen a perhaps surprising development. The authorities are trying to reverse what critics call the hyper-digitalization of young children, triggering a fierce debate over what's best for the kids. In this video, I'll be explaining to you why the Swedish government wants to minimize preschoolers' screen time, the connection to kids' brains, and what the teacher who sent me this photo thinks. We asked parents on the streets of Stockholm for their opinions on tablets and the like for children.
I think it can be used if it's used on a correct way, like for a benefit for the children, but I think you should have a limit.
The world is so digitalized nowadays, so probably it's good to have different tools.
It's like your brain and everything in your system is developing, and you need to learn more manual things.
What I wanted to understand was how using digital devices affects young children. The Swedish Pediatric Society recently even recommended that kids under 2 should have no screen time at all. For extra insights, I talked to Swedish brain researcher Sissela. Since the pediatrician's report was published, she's received countless mails from preschools asking for advice. She has a very clear view.
When you're about 1 year old, your brain is not ready to actually understand what you're experiencing on a screen, that 2D flat environment. So up until the age of 2, there's no advantages of putting a screen in front of a child. There are potential risks of doing so instead.
Plus, screen time spent alone, says Sissela, can also hinder young children's language development and make them more reserved. Digital displays are particularly harmful for children with behavioral difficulties, she says.
Research is starting to show now that if you give a child a screen when they have big emotions or behavioral outbursts, those outbursts may in fact become worse over time if you are given a screen with an immediate reward in those moments.
But Sissela's insights apply to more than brain research. In practice, she knows, screens are used as a last resort for keeping children quiet. Think of 2 teachers in charge of 20 kids. One little thing happens and all hell could break loose. According to her, the problems are understaffing and a lack of appropriate training. How about you? Did you have a lot of screen time at that age? And screen time is the main point of contention in the debate, which is where the pro-digitalization camp comes in.
Sitting still in front of a screen alone, watching or playing a game, that wouldn't really exist in preschool. That's something you do at home.
Susanne is a researcher in early childhood education, specializing in digitalization at preschools. She contradicts some of what brain researcher Sissela says, insisting that the problem is a domestic one. With plenty of children already glued to their screens at home, on Snapchat and TikTok, she believes that preschools have a duty to teach them the right skills for using digital media as early as possible. The crucial thing, she says, is for the kids to be in groups and accompanied by trained staff instead of playing on their own.
When you co-watch, as you do all the time in preschool, it's actually good for language development, because you can talk to each other about what you see, and the teacher could be there and supervise, but also explain and talk to the children about what they are viewing on the screen.
I wanted to hear from people with on-the-ground experience. Preschool teacher Janni runs digital workshops for other staff and told me about her ideal scenario.
How do I start? The children can read QR codes and follow different missions to solve in the forest. The children can use digital microscope egg to see clearly how many legs a spider has, and also filming it. We have different robots. We have to program both analog and digital. We have projector, and we have the iPad or the learning board to work and learn together with the children. For example, we use photographs and films to manipulating them to show that not everything they meet in media is true.
She also points to the specific benefits for non-native speakers. Children can have digital books read out content in over 100 languages, even if teachers don't speak any Finnish or Chinese. A point Jani repeatedly stresses is the importance of both digital and analog, something that, to her dismay, digital skeptics try to sweep under the carpet amidst the general debate.
We give and offer the children to explore and learn by the digital and analog tools together. Calling it screen time makes me wonder how much knowledge they have about today's preschool.
What seems to ultimately matter is that preschools have the right conditions for digitalization, and above all, having staff who know how to use digital media to support children's development. While Cisela doubts this is the case, Jani and Susanne say that most preschool teachers' digital activities do have an educational purpose. What do you think? Is it wise for kindergartens to give kids tablets, or are you more concerned about the risks? Tell us in the comments.